Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the Ambarella stock chart and review some of the trades I've just done on this stock. And I also want to talk about spotting good chopsticks patterns, filtering out bad ones. And then also, I want to take a look at any possible price projections for this stock. Um, and now that on Friday, we broke out here of resistance. Actually, we did that on Thursday, but we confirmed on Friday on higher volume. And so, where are we headed with this stock? What's the price target? I think everyone wants to know. So, we'll just talk about that and make some guesses. Uh, but Ambarella, if you don't know, is a chip maker, and they make, I think it's encoding chips for high definition videos. They're famously known to be used by GoPro cameras, but they have a much more diversified portfolios. I think they are embedded in security cameras and probably Internet of Things type cameras. So they've been growing. So let's go ahead and review the trades I've done so far and then talk about some of the things that I wanted to talk about. Um, Here, Ambarella made a all-time high, and we had a pullback, creating this downtrend line along the 10-day line here, and then we had a breakout of this downtrend line. Now, I wanted to talk about filtering out some of these chopsticks patterns because you'll see the chopsticks pattern uh, on many stocks every day. And how do you know which ones are good? So, you want to. There are two criterias really that I look at, and I see a lot of chopsticks patterns every day, but I don't publish all of them because I try to pick out higher quality ones that have a higher probability of success. I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed and try and get into every trade. Just try to pick out the high quality ones, so you can learn the pattern, so you can make some money and feel confidence in it. So first thing I look at is the fundamentals of the stock. And the better the fundamentals, the higher the success rate of the setup. And for me, fundamentals means two simple things. Uh, do they have positive EPS, and is their EPS growing? And if the faster it's growing, the better. And I'm not a true value investor. I don't analyze every line on the financial statements and figure out, this and that. I'm a lazy trader. I take a look at two numbers, and that gives me a good idea of where they are fundamentally. At the end of the day, all you care about is, does this company make money? You can debate all these other things, but does it make money? And so I look at EPS, and let's go ahead and take a look really quickly at this EPS and year-over-year growth for Ambarella. So this last earnings, they made 53% on estimates of 39%, or a 35% surprise to the upside. Now, a year ago, three dots ago, they had earnings of 17 cents a share on estimates of 13 cents. So another big beat by Ambarella. And you go from 17 cents to 53 cents. You're looking at maybe 250% growth year over year. Huge numbers for a pretty mature company in terms of product line. This is not speculative stuff. They have real products that they're selling and making money off of. So that's the first criteria: fundamentally sound stock via EPS and EPS growth. So Ambarella is good on that front. Second is the technicals. Are we in all-time high area? And before this trade, you can see, yes, Ambarella has been trading in all-time highs area. That's really good because you want all-time highs, and then you want a pullback of say 15 to 20%. That'll give you a nice run back up into all-time highs, and then possibly going even higher. So in that respect, Ambarella also meets the criteria. And then finally, around the breakout day, take a look at the technicals around there and see if there are any other confirming signs that this could be, a true rally and true reversal. That's what we're looking for, is a reversal of a downtrend. And so let's go ahead and take a look. We had here, Ambarella was pretty much in support. If you take a look here, you can kind of see a descending triangle pattern, and it broke out of this descending triangle here on massive volume and huge price movement, price action to the downside. And this is looks like a capitulation day to me, because you got the huge price action, you've got the huge volume. What that means is it looks like holders have pretty much gave up on this stock, and this is where usually retails will buy here hoping the stock will continue higher, but instead it pulls back. It's pulled back at that point, let's say about 13%, and they're in so much pain that they're losing 13%. As this thing breaks out and it goes lower, they're going to start selling, because let's see, at the bottom of this is about a 20% pullback, and they're just like, oh my god, I'm losing money, I'm going to sell it, this stock is crap. And only they sell at the bottom only to see it go ahead, reverse, and start making money. Classic shakeout here on the capitulation day. Now on that day itself, you're not going to know it's capitulation. It looks like it, but it could head lower. So you really don't know. So, but the next day you take a look at this and you see a piercing candle type pattern. So this is a piercing candle type pattern. Now, technically, a piercing candle, you have to close at the midpoint of the bar. I didn't take out a ruler and measure this bar and made sure that this closing price was 1 penny above the midpoint. I'm a lazy trader. I eyeball this and I say, hey, that looks like capitulation. This is up on high volume, pretty close to the midpoint, maybe a little bit lower than the midpoint, but it did peak above the midpoint. So to me, this is a piercing pattern, although it's not the official definition of a piercing candle pattern, but close enough. So, and it's not breaking out here. I'll give it some more time to take a look at it. And what do you see is a 3-day pullback. Although this is a green day, it made a lower high from this day. So it's still a pullback in my definition of things. And I've mentioned to many of you guys that on a strongly advancing stock, it's not going to pull back more than 3 days. And on the 4th day here, we have, as expected, a breakout above this bar's high. And that's a confirmation signal that we're moving higher. We also get the breakout of the downtrend line. We get a breakout of the 10-day line. So all of these technical indicators indicate I have a higher chance of success on this fundamentally sound stock. And that is going to improve your chance of success in a trade setup. Now, if this stock had fallen 45%, 50% in the last 6 months, making lower highs on the daily chart, and then you see a chopsticks pattern, it could be the sign of a bottom, but also it could be a higher risk setup. So this type of setup is the optimal setup, because you're at all-time highs, pull back about 20%, candle pattern suggesting a reversal, and then you get a breakout of the downtrend line. You need, the more signals you have, the more confirmation you're going to have that it's going to be a successful trade. One signal, one candle signal doesn't mean anything. You got here piercing, but we end up lower. So excuse me. You want to get as many signals confirming your move. In any case, I actually spotted the trade here, but I reviewed this, the pattern before that. But I sent out a signal to buy here. I said it was a fast-moving stock, but fortunately, there was a period of consolidation here where you could have bought the breakout of this candle's high. So you could have, put a buy stop on this day. You would have probably gotten into the trade here, and would have to suffer a 1-day downtrend, not downtrend, 1-day red candle, and then we start heading up. Now, unfortunately for me, I had to sell on this day because earnings was that day, and I don't hold through earnings on trades. I don't hold through earnings, especially when I don't have much of a profit. I had probably a 6% profit by the time earnings came. So I sold out of this. I'd rather make the money up front before earnings or play the reaction after earnings. So earnings came out and it was good. It was a gap up. I sent out a message that this would probably be a gap up and run play. And so on the gap up here, I bought some in this range. I can't remember exactly. We had a big pullback the next day, and this is where it's important that your trader psychology is very important. Knowing that this is a fundamentally sound stock, that it has a big uptrending chart, this is not necessarily a concern for me. It closed near the gap, and it pulled back up, I believe, above the gap, and so it was not a concern for me. In fact, the following day went towards. I added to this position because it would lower my cost from up here. I was pretty confident in this stock heading forward, and fortunately I was correct, and it moved up higher. We set the resistance here of this bar, and we started penetrating resistance on this day. So after this, we had the breakout on Friday, and that's where we are right now. Now I wanted to go ahead and make some educated guess on where this stock might be headed. When we're in all-time highs area, it's really hard to say where it can go. You can use Fibonacci projections. That's one way to do it. But what I'm going to do today is go ahead and take a look at the previous runs and kind of set expectations on what could possibly happen. So if we take a look at the previous runs here, I've measured it out in advance to save you some time from watching me do it, and we can go ahead but I'll do the last one together so you can learn how to do it yourself. You got here a 46% move from this swing low I picked to the swing high. You have a 46%, 47% move, and you get from this swing low here to this swing high, you have a 61% move. So this stock can book. This stock can really make advances. You got from this swing low here to this swing high here, you have a 70% move, and then from this swing low to this swing high, you have a 73% move, and then from this swing low to this swing high, you have a 43% move. So this stock can make some huge gains when it rallies. And so let's measure out where we are right now. If we go ahead and take our measuring tool, we can go ahead and pick this as a swing low and go ahead and measure it to where we are right now, and that is at 51% gain from this swing low. Now we're obviously above this 43 type range, so it's possible that we go ahead and make a 61 to 70% move. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to measure out here a 60% move, which will be in this area here. I'm going to try and, there we go, 60%, perfect. And I'm going to just put a call out here. I'm going to put it here so they don't conflict with each other, and this is going to be in the 77.44 area, and then I'm going to measure out a 70% move. So let me measure. Okay, well, 69.93. I hope you guys can live with that as a 70% move. We're going to take a look at that. That's in the 82.39 area. So I'm going to say 77 and 82. So in a normal breakout, I would measure out about a 20% move. So when you look at 82 area, that's a 20% move. So for me, I would probably put a price target at about 82. And now what does that mean? Am I guaranteeing that it's going to go to 82. I have no idea where it's going to go. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Technicals is not a guarantee or a predictive, kind of study. It's a guideline to what could happen potentially, and the market could turn bearish tomorrow on some bad news. We could be going to World War IV. We could have some horrific event that brings the market down and brings the stock down with it. We could just have selling in the stock. Who knows? Anything can happen. But this is a guess on where we might go. So if we head towards the 82 area, I might start raising stops to kind of lock in some profits. So technicals is a guide. It's a guide to help you trade. It's no guarantee anything will work. It's no guarantee you'll make any money. In fact, you could lose money. So in any case, if you're not in this trade yet, how would I recommend you getting into this trade? I'll get a lot of people after seeing this video. Oh, can I still make money from this? Well, the upside is here, but if I wouldn't get into a trade unless it's at the buy point. I try to get it on the entry day. If not, I just kind of let the trade go. I don't chase after stocks. But if you really wanted to buy this stock and try and catch this much upside to it, what I would do is I would put a buy stop here on the top of this candle. And the reason is, if you think the stock is going to advance, for sure it has to go above the price of this candle. And so if it does do that, you're going to get caught up in the price move and get into the trade. Now, let's just say, for example, after this breakout, we get a pullback. Now, like I said before, you can have this type of situation where you get a nice candle and then 3 days of pullback. So a buy stop will allow you the opportunity to get the price lower. So let's just say we pull back for 2 or 3 days here. On each pullback day, you can change your buy stop to that day's high. Again, the theory is if it's going to continue higher, it's got to break through these highs. So in 3 days, if it still hasn't made a high, you can really definitely expect the fourth day for it to break out into new highs. Like I mentioned before, it's the lightning bolt action. Up, pull back, and bolt up higher. Now, if it starts pulling back more than 3 or 4 days, I would kind of hold back and see, if this line here holds. So if on the fourth day we still haven't moved up, it might be retesting this line. Once it touches this line, I would put a buy stop on the high of that candle, and if it really is going to retest, it should head higher. Otherwise, it's going to get back into the channel and sell off. So if you wanted to, that's how I would approach trying to get into this. I wouldn't just randomly buy, prices. I would try to have it try and get as low as I can to the breakout line. That would be my approach. So anyways, that's the review of the Ambarella stock chart. If you like this video, if you want to follow this stock and see what happens, I'll try to keep updated. Click on the subscribe button below this video so that you can keep updated with the new videos that I put out. I also put out other trades, new trade setups that you can try and get in earlier. So I appreciate you guys watching, and have a good weekend.